Musicians Talk Show is brought to you by Bandzoogle. Bandzoogle makes it easy to build a stunning website for your music in minutes. Choose from hundreds of mobile-friendly themes, then customize your design and content in a few clicks with Bandzoogle's easy visual editor. All the features you need for a professional website are already built in, including tools to sell your music and merch commission-free right on your website, mailing list tools to grow your fan list and send newsletters, integrations to pull in content from all your online services like Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud, and live support from their musician-friendly team 7 days a week. Bandzoogle plans start at just $8.29 a month and include your own free custom domain name. So go to bandzoogle.com to try it free for 30 days, and be sure to use the promo code TMTS to get 15% off your first year of your subscription. Okay, before we get started, Matt and I have lots of great ideas to improve the podcast, but we can't do it without you. So if you want to help us grow, click support the show at musicianstalkshow.com and consider signing up for our Patreon. We have tons of great perks and rewards for you, such as early guest reveals, a weekly live Q&A, and access to a monthly exclusive episode only for our patrons.
Sign up for our mailing list on our website to gain access to our private community on Discord. There you can communicate with Dallas and I directly about all things TMTS. You can also follow at Musicians Talk Show on Instagram to discover new episodes, vote in polls, and join the conversation.
Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show. It is episode 55 of the Musicians Talk Show podcast. I'm one of your two co-hosts, Dallas DeWhite.
And I'm Matt Solly.
Welcome to the show, Matt. How you doing, brother?
Tired. Been a long day. We lost an hour of sleep last night.
Yeah, and we are both so tired that we actually put it down to talk about how
tired
we are.
On the tiringest weekend we've ever had. Episode 55.
So tired that you said
around.
tiredingness.
That works.
Which I don't think is a word, is it?
No, I don't know.
We're making it a word.
It is now.
So why are we so tired, Matt?
Oh, just lots of things, man. You guys had a big weekend. You want to start with your news?
Well, I wanted to talk about...
Can't talk too much about it, but...
We'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there. I don't want to burn through everything so fast.
Yeah. Well, obviously...
All right, see you guys next week.
Obviously, normal band stuff is normally tiring, and then when you add on special events and extra things like shooting music videos and, you know...
You guys have another video out? Talk about that.
Well, we don't have it out yet, but it's coming out
but
soon.
You shot
it's in the middle of being edited, right? It's shot, and we talked about it a little bit on the last episode, so it's still in the process of being edited and whatnot. We're waiting for the mix to get back for the final mix. So
or the final edit.
All these things are happening, but hopefully within the next week we'll have them all out.
I can't wait to see it. I saw some stills, and then of course hearing you describe it.
I'm psyched.
Has always been. It sounds like something I really want to see.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. I'm excited too. What did you guys do? The LA Maybe.
Jinx.
Tell me.
We said at the same time.
Tell me what you can
We
tell
spent
me.
this weekend, Friday through this morning, participating in a reality TV show pilot.
Fuck yes.
So we entered a competition a little while back to get considered to be a part of this super exclusive thing or whatever. Not many details were given.
Right.
But there was a prize. So our drummer was like, hey, if there's a prize, like all we got to do is send him a video. So we'll send him a video. Well, we came in first. And I think we talked about this already on the show.
We set it up last time because we just found out the news last week.
That's right. So we had said this already. So anyway.
But you're just back from it now. You finished it
so
up.
We went
you guys
Friday.
Had a long weekend.
So, man, it was really interesting. I can't talk a lot about like the details.
No, but you can tell them where you stayed.
Yeah, we stayed at a lake house as a band all weekend. And it was something I was just started to tell Matt before we hit record was I'm ready to get back to some privacy because we all lived in the same room. So of course, we're like it's just no privacy.
And
then on top of that, there are 3 to 4 cameras on you at all times with a lav mic, like a lapel mic, on your shirt, literally the whole time we were there.
Yep.
So
everything is heard.
Everything we're saying is recorded. Even when we're not being watched.
Oh boy,
we're being watched all the time. I had to play guitar and record guitar stuff with cameras in my face.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
That's a little nerve-wracking, I guess.
It's like they're doing their thing. They're trying to get good shots, so they're moving around you and coming in real close and getting in real tight and like getting your face and like all up in your space and stuff.
Sure.
And like I'm trying to like play this part right, like in time and like blah 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 and like this is a challenge. Like,
a lot of pressure, but you know what? That puts everybody to the test. Everybody's got the same disadvantage in that way. So
it was a fun confidence test,
right?
Because anytime we had to perform or do anything, there was us and then a whole crew of and then extra people of at least 10 other people in the room.
Right.
So like when it's time to like, record a guitar part, it's you and then like 15 other people total.
Sure.
Just standing there looking at you like, all right,
Whole
here we go.
production team. Yeah, exactly. All right,
Play
everybody ready?
that thing you wrote today.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It's
Exactly. Well, that's gonna be cool, man. I hope it gets released at least where we can go find it somewhere, even if it's not released like on TV,
Yeah.
because it is something like a preliminary type phase.
Yeah, I think what they call it is a proof of concept.
Right.
So it's not breaking any sort of confidentiality to talk about what a proof of concept is.
Right.
And what I would equate it to, the analogy I used when I was talking to Matt a little bit earlier, was it's like the demo versus the final released
Right.
mix. So like if Matt was saying, hey, I have the song idea, and he sends me a demo, well, I don't turn around and just like sweet and release the demo. Like I'm going to be like, all right, Matt, let's record your
Those are
song.
ideas.
Like this is a
Those
good
are
demo.
ideas
Let's record it.
that have to be vetted out and worked through.
Right. So that's what a proof of concept is.
cool.
And a proof of concept is something widely used among the TV and film world, where if I have an idea, I can tell you about it and write it on paper and stuff, or I could just show you. I can
Right.
go make this
Do an
video and
example
show
of
you
it. Right.
and say, hey, Matt, I have this idea. Press play. We watch it. And then I say, what do you think? We want to make this a real show.
Totally.
That's what this was this weekend.
Totally. So that's a cool opportunity for the LA Maybe Dude. And if it works out, if they do make that show, I mean, you guys would be probably a good chance at getting called back and doing it.
Sure.
doing
If
the real
it
thing.
becomes a real show, there's a chance we could get called back to do
That's
the real
cool.
thing. And that'll be fun and a lot bigger,
Yeah.
more
Who'da-
rewarding experience.
Yeah.
Even though this one was awesome too.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
We had a
That's
good
cool,
time, man.
Hell
Ooh.
yeah. Well,
But what that means is we're pretty tired, and because
Yeah.
we're tired because we stayed up a lot, but that's not the full reason. I can
Right,
stay up a
right.
lot and be fine.
right.
we're
Not only
tired
did you do
because-
that, not only did you do that though, but you came to the BML gig night
Yeah.
after that. So
Yeah,
like,
and we're gonna
he
get into
shot
gig-
right
yeah.
over there. Right.
We're gonna get into gig night in a second, but I
Yeah.
wanted to say,
Being
having
all
to
up all
like,
night and
it's kind of like
whatnot.
the 24-hour EP, but like over a weekend.
Right.
Like imagine in the music and the working takes a toll, but
Yeah.
it's the mental like creativity drain.
Sure. Sure.
Like okay, create right
yeah.
now,
Yeah.
go. You have 12 hours to create something, and
Yep.
that works your brain in a way that like normally it's not used to working.
Exactly. Like the 24-hour EP. That's why I
It's
can
the equivalent of like
definitely
going to the
relate.
gym. Like you leave the gym, and you're like, oh,
Exactly.
like all right, dude, like I'm tired. You know what I mean? I'm exhausted.
Yep.
It's like that, but for your brain.
Yep.
Where you're just kind of like, I need to sit down and like stare at a wall. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. You can only do it. You can only do it for so long before you're just like, man,
Yeah.
I need a break.
Exactly. But it's that exact thing, except we were in a house with deadlines, and when we wanted a break, we couldn't
Right.
take one.
Right. Exactly.
It was like, all right, we need a break. Sorry, keep working.
Yeah.
Like, So I
That's
mean,
good.
we did take breaks, but like it's not something you're escaping.
It's a big test. That's cool, man.
It was cool though, and most importantly, it was a really fun band bonding experience.
Right.
So we're all adults with jobs and stuff, so we don't get to just hang out like
Yeah.
like teenagers
Spend the
would.
night every night. Right.
Yeah,
Like 3
teenagers
nights
would
in a row.
form a band
Nights
and like
in a
spend all weekend together, hanging out, and we don't have time to do that.
Right.
So this is the first time we've hung out as a band
row. Right.
when
That's
we're not
good.
like having to work. Does that make sense? Even though this was work,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
usually when we're all together, it's like, all right, we have an objective, we have to rehearse, we have 2 hours, let's get in, let's get out.
Yeah.
And
but
then
when
we
that
all
2
go our
hours is
separate
over,
ways, so it's like
yeah.
we
it's
never really
different.
get a chance to hang. But this weekend we had chances to hang out, goof off, laugh, play, make jokes.
Yeah. Cool. When
Gol-
you stayed at a
Goliath's
lake house.
personality really comes out.
Yeah.
People love him because he's hilarious and
He's a
so
fun
over
guy.
the top.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I can be a similar way when I'm in the right environment.
Sure.
Foz is of course hilarious. Rasan is hilarious.
Did
Like,
you
it's just
find
a
out that
fun group of
everybody
guys.
snores?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I'm my girlfriend always tells me I snore and keep her awake, and I'm like, sorry, I don't know what to do. Like I can't not do that.
Right.
So I don't even know that I do. I've never heard myself snore. Of
Yeah.
course.
I don't know if I do. Or
So Rasan, we found out he snores pretty good.
Pretty
Goliath snores really consistently, but it's not very
good.
loud.
I wonder if you guys all snore in harmony.
That'd be awesome. I don't think we found
Okay.
out if Foz snores or not, but we did find out that Foz sleeps hard enough that none of our other snores woke him up.
That's good.
So Foz was joking, like either
Good for
I
him, at
am
least.
so asleep that I didn't hear it, or I snore so loud that I didn't hear it.
Either way, he's good. He's a lucky
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So our bed situation, this is really fun. There was a bunk bed and a double bed. So Foz got top bunk, Goliath got bottom bunk, and Rasan and I got snuggle bunk.
Oh,
It was
so
Snuggle
cute.
City. No, it actually wasn't. But
wasn't
we were
cute?
joking all week about you trying to get some snuggles.
well,
You trying to get some snuggles up in
Sure,
this
sure.
bitch?
we are sharing the same bed.
It was really fun. Nonstop jokes. And the other band, cool guys, So there was, multiple musicians there and a big crew, and it was all sorts of fun. So we had a good time.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Awesome. I'm glad
Nice,
to hear it
man.
went well. I can't wait to check
So-
it out in any way I can.
The show went from, or the filming went from, Friday night to Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So when we wrapped up, it was Sunday afternoon, I guess, early afternoon. So when we wrapped up, Rasan and I jetted. We actually had to leave early. We jetted straight to Flight, Music and Beer
Right.
in Charlotte, which
been-
is where, so this is
I'd
where
been
Matt's
there since
side
11
of the
o'clock
story
in the
picks up.
morning. Which
Yeah,
was,
so tell me about everything up to the point that I got there because I wasn't around for any of this.
Yeah, I'll give you the quick rundown. So, me and Paige, pretty sure we had it figured out as far as getting everything to the
Pages.
Huh?
You have to introduce who Paige is.
Oh, Paige is our
We've never
our
talked
friend
about her
that,
on name, I
runs
don't
Sound
think, by
Force,
name.
and she's just a really awesome.
She's kind of our
hardworking girl.
go-to front of house person for
Exactly.
the LA maybe and you guys too.
Exactly. So, we got her to help out since Dallas was actually going to the TV show, so she last minute decided to help out. That was
Yeah.
really nice of her.
Oh, let me jump in real quick and
Yeah.
say that it originally, like you said, it was supposed to be me and you
yeah,
running the Sound at Good
Right.
Night like we did last time.
right.
And then this came up so last minute, we had to kind of scramble.
Yeah, and she
And I
knows what
begged
she's
Paige
doing.
to do it.
She ran the Prep and Barium sound that one time with Dallas, and that was really awesome.
So she knows my system.
yeah,
She knows my
exactly.
system better than I do.
Exactly. So we ended up meeting at the Playroom at time did we meet 10 o'clock, and then got all the stuff packed up, boxed up, and
And we lost an hour.
we lost an hour.
Daylight
of
savings
sleep,
time is
so
today.
That was really tough because I got up at what I was thinking 9:30. It felt like 8:30.
Right.
It was 9:30. It felt
Yeah,
like
yeah.
8:30.
Yeah.
And then we met over there, got the stuff packed up, and got over there. But when we were packing up, we realized we weren't able to get it all in one load. So
Because usually we use my car, which when empty and with the seats flat can hold my entire PA
right.
system.
And I didn't have the hearse. I'm in my BMW, and
Yeah, the hearse would have easily held
The
it.
hearse would have been nice, but then I'd have been stuck driving it all weekend too.
Yeah, that sucks.
But Paige had her Jeep. We got most of it in the Jeep, and then we're like, well, we're not getting that last thing, so we got to go there and come back and get it. And then when we left, dude, when we went to Flight, dropped the first load off, and George was there, and he goes,
George is the owner of Bold Music.
yeah,
We're going to
yeah.
get him on the podcast.
yeah, absolutely, we should. But I just could imagine what he was thinking when we both dropped that stuff
Yeah.
off and left again.
So-
He's like,
so-
where are you guys going?
Here's what George is thinking because he had hired me to do sound,
Right.
and I was kind of getting you guys to do it for me,
Right,
And
so-
and money was going the places it should,
Right.
So I mean, it's all about board.
But
of
yeah,
course.
but he didn't understand
But
what we were
Yeah, so
how he could trust
he didn't.
us.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like a third party. Like I was the
Exactly.
middleman.
Yeah, so we just
And
show
so
up
George is
and
kind of
drop
like,
our stuff
who
off
are these
and
guys?
leave.
Yeah.
So we texted him to make sure he knew. Like, no, we'll be right back. We're going right around the corner. We gotta get this last thing, and then we're back. And after that, man, we broke down, and he was like, "Well, it's gonna be cutting tight." He said, "Let's make sure we hustle." And when me and Paige got back, dude, we rocked that shit. We broke that shit out, got all the cables ran. It was pretty streamlined.
How long do you think it took to set the whole thing up once you got there with everything to the time you were ready to sound check or something?
I think we got back. By the time we got back from unloading that the second load, it was like maybe 11:30, maybe 11:45 even. So we had an hour and 15 minutes to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
We had the whole thing set up without troubleshooting it and testing everything, probably in like 30, 45 minutes. But then we had the problem with the Wi-Fi. We had the problem with
That's when you called
the
me.
S32.
So this is funny.
Yeah,
I was-
Dallas is in the middle of the thing.
We had to record something, and I'm in the middle of recording my parts. Literally, like I had just finished. I was just finishing a take, and I stopped, and I felt my phone vibrating, which is weird because my phone's always on Do Not Disturb,
Uh-huh.
except when people in my favorites call me. There's only two people in my
Oh.
favorites. That's Jordan and that's you.
Oh, good.
Two
good.
people that I
I'm glad
communicate
get
with
through
the
them.
most.
That's good. That's good.
So I'm glad that happened because
I'm
if you
glad
weren't in my
too,
favorites,
yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten that call.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting on the floor, cross-legged by my Kemper, with my Les Paul in my hand, with those 15 people all around me looking at me like, "Time to record." And then my phone rings,
Oh, hang on one second.
and I'm like, "Hey guys, I got to take this. This is a business thing."
Yeah.
And I picked it up, and everyone's just sitting here listening to everything I'm saying. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey, dude, I'm literally in the middle of recording right now. Like I was about to punch one part,
Yeah.
and you called right in between the
That's
mess
so
up
funny
and the
because
punch."
I had no idea what.
And I was like,
on the other
I
side.
was like, "I'm happy to talk to you, and I know you're calling me because you need something."
yeah.
So let's make
I
this
made it real
quick.
quick. I tried to give him the best I could. I thought you changed the password on the Wi-Fi because it kept saying incorrect
It
password.
says
I'm
incorrect
like,
password.
I
That's
have
what it did at Hattie's
saved-
too,
Yeah,
dude.
and I have it saved in my phone.
Yeah.
And what I did is I just unplugged the power and plugged it back in, and then when I turned it back, like all back came back on, I hooked up no problem. And I'm like,
Really?
that's so lame. But it kept telling me incorrect password probably like 15 times before I was like, all right.
It did that exact same thing at Hattie's, and like I was telling Paige that night, and I
Lame.
still haven't learned my lesson. We need to get a new router.
Yeah.
So
That one's just having issues or whatever. But,
well, it's not a good router. It's a $60 like
yeah.
Linksys router from like
Yeah.
the 90s.
not reliable enough.
It's not. I basically got it to test out the wireless capabilities, and now that I know it can work, and we're all going to be using it,
Right.
It's time to upgrade.
Yeah, definitely.
So
So then the S32 was just routed wrong essentially in Paige's setup. So we just ended up bailing on that, so we had to redo that real
The
quick.
S32 is the snake part.
Right, the snake
just
of the,
for clarity
the
for people
X32.
listening.
Yeah. So we had a little problem with that, but it was just a technical issue or whatever. But we just decided to go around it, bypass it, and everything went smoothly after that. Just a lot of little things or whatever. Just the thing about those gig nights is that it's so many changeovers. It's like normally.
Can you talk about like what gig night is?
Yeah, sure. So Bolt Music Lessons does every 3 months. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
They do a what they call a gig night, where all these students who are learning their instruments and learning how to perform go out, and for the most of them, it's their first time, or one of their first times out there performing in front of people, so they get experience, performing actual music pieces.
Right.
And so it's a lot of students, and the instructors are usually helping them out with them too, so they're on stage with them playing a part of the song or something, right? Some instrument, and also helping guide the student like through their first stage time or second stage time, whatever it be.
Yeah.
And but the thing is for us running sound is that how many changeovers it is.
Yeah. So think about
everybody has different instruments. Everybody has a different amount of people.
The way I think about the gig night is like any music school has a recital.
Right.
This is Bold's recital.
Right.
But it's very
public.
informal.
Yeah.
There's everybody's drinking beer, hanging out.
Right, sure.
Loud music, rock music,
Flight
pop
is a
music.
great place to do it at.
Yeah, and it's real open. So it's very informal, and so they called it such, gig night, instead of recital.
Sure.
Recital's very formal.
It's awesome. That's the way I would want to do it if I wouldn't want to do a recital where it's in a theater or anything like that. I think the way they do it is really
Or I've played recitals growing up where it was like in a church.
Oh,
and
right,
it was just
right.
dead quiet.
Right.
And you would perform not even amped.
that makes sense.
Just because it was so quiet. There's
yeah,
enough.
and that's not
And then it's
nearly
usually
what
like
this
30
is.
people there, like parents and everything. Like there may be 5, 6 students performing,
Yeah. But gig night's awesome, and it's great for the kids, and we like doing it. Like we love watching a kid go up there who's like just 7 years old, and you're just like, how does this kid get it already? Like they already are
There
on
was a
this.
couple kids that were real young.
Yeah.
It sounded
Amazing,
real good.
amazing. Some amazing voices, some amazing guitar players, really cool stuff. Drummers, keyboard players, obviously piano players.
But what you were saying a minute ago was the changeovers are hard. So think about if you're running sound for a band.
Normally,
or even a show.
4 bands, 5 bands.
You might
max.
have
If
sure.
it's
but most of the time you set up a band and then you sit on that band for 30, 40 minutes.
Right, making subtle changes from song to song or whatever.
But that's
But
volume.
this is
and,
this is every time it's a different new group of people. Like they'll
Every-
do 1 to
probably
2 songs.
I would say 2 to 6 minutes.
Right.
There's a completely different instrumentation.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a keyboardist will come up and just play piano.
Yeah.
And then an acoustic guitar and a singer and then a bassist and a drum and another acoustic guitar will come up.
Right.
So you have to set that up.
Yeah,
And
everybody's
then-
got their own guitar. Everybody's
Yeah.
got their
Yeah.
own thing they got to set up, and none of them are tuned. It turns out.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
Which
So-
they're young and they don't know, but like obviously as a gigging musician, you know that your guitar is tuned before you hit the stage. Like
Yeah.
that's not something you do on stage.
Yeah.
But these kids obviously are learning.
There's a
and
lot
they're-
to learn that,
there
that
is a lot
we
to learn.
take for granted because we've already learned it.
Of course, and that's why we try to instill it in their in their heads. Like, guitar tuned? Are you plugged in? What because I don't even know if they're acoustic guitars.
Sing loud, keep the mic in your
Right,
face.
exactly. All these, and that's another thing. Mic position. Like a lot of them didn't understand that yet. So just
One of
lots
my biggest
things.
pet peeves in general, and of course a lot of the kids do this, and that's fine. They're still learning.
Right.
Is when someone refuses to like get up in the
on
mic.
the mic, right?
Like,
right.
dude, when I'm singing in a mic, it's touching my lips.
Oh, me too. Always.
Like,
yeah, I
If
don't
you're-
know what
if you're
that
too
is. I
far
thought
back,
about
you can't
that
hear
too.
yourself.
Yeah,
And I think, I think I figured this out. A lot of the kids, at least, the first time you talk in a mic and
Yeah.
hear your voice
Yeah.
boom around the room
Yeah.
and shake the foundations,
Yeah.
like that's scary.
Yeah,
so
you're
your
not
first
used to it.
instinct is, oh shit, don't do that again. Back up.
yeah, exactly.
Every time I'm loud at home, mom yells at me. So
right. It is kind of like
I can't
that,
be
right?
loud,
It's
where
bold,
really
but
you
it's
should
like
own
really-
that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that takes time.
Yeah, it's like it's a confidence thing, and it's also like I remember recording my voice for the first time as a kid and thinking like that is not what I sound like, is it? Like I don't was
Like on your
embarrassed.
voicemail or something,
Not even my voicemail. It was something like I had a tape recorder, and we were just messing around, and I was like, I'm gonna sing something. Watch this, and I sang something or whatever, and I was like, oh, that was pretty good. Let's listen back. And I don't think it was bad, but it's not what I expected it to sound like.
Like tone.
And
stuff,
yeah, tone was big time off for me. Like I was like, oh, I didn't have a perception of what I sound like, and it's hard to have that. And then also to be performing in front of people and then have your voice projected that hard, So it's definitely that. And some people are very timid, like that's just the type of person they are. They're not gonna go out there and yell into the microphone. They're gonna go out there and speak very softly.
Yeah.
Just the way their
Or sit so
personalities
far
are.
back.
That
What
for sure.
they don't understand is the people out front cannot hear you
Right.
once the drums and the bass and the guitars, once they're all in,
Sure.
you need that super
Exactly,
loud, big
exactly.
voice, you know.
That's why whenever we sound check, we're like listening for like, okay, it's good, it sounds good, but is it gonna be loud enough when the drums kick in, or is it?
Right.
It depends on what the scenario is, whatever's happening. So every just like we were talking about, every setup was just a lot of work. You know, it's just the way it goes. But
And so what that means for you and Paige is constant running around.
sure, muting
You never
channels,
get to sit behind the board.
lowering,
the board is
lowering,
on stage, which is helpful.
Yeah, and our Wi-Fi, like we talked about, our Wi-Fi network
Would have
was
been really
down,
nice
so
if that worked. It would have made it a lot easier.
we couldn't hear out front. We were doing a lot of running back and forth, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll upgrade that. That'll be cool. Anyways, but
So
it's all good. I'm glad it's over
How did
now.
the first one go? Talk to me like in some detail
first
about
half,
how the
the
first
first
half
set?
went, because Rasan and I completely missed the first half, but we did make it through the whole second half.
Yeah,
We got there right at the break in
Yeah.
the time. So what we usually do, and I'll say this one more thing, which might be too much details for those of us listening, but we used to do one massive gig night where it's like
Yes.
4 hours long.
Now
Now
it's
we broke
split
it
up.
up into two. There's like
Yeah,
an early
so
show
the
and a late
first
show.
half,
So-
Dallas was at the TV show still and headed on his way back.
Yeah.
The second half, you made it to. So the first half, I'll say that there was one girl that really blew me away, man. And I was like, at first, I was thinking, okay, this is her, first time. We'll see.
Mhm.
She just gets through it good, right?
Well, she
and,
went up to the piano, right?
She went up to the piano first. She sits down and she's playing something. Can't really hard like make out what it is really. And then her instructor comes over and
How
says,
old
okay,
was she?
here's this. I would say she's 11 or 12.
Okay.
I would say something like that age. It's hard to tell, but
You don't remember her name? I know you saw
don't remember
70
her
names
name.
today.
Yeah,
so.
so many names. But so anyway, she sits down and she starts playing on the piano, and it was like rough. I didn't understand what she was trying to do, whatever. And the instructor came over and said, "No, try right here," and just started in the right key. Then it started sounding like, okay, it's Imagine. Now I know what she's trying to play. Imagine by John Lennon. And she plays the first part of it and kind of loses her spot and holds and like, all right, that's not gonna work. She's not gonna be able to play this and sing it. So the instructor came on. He's like, how about you just sing it? I'll play the keys. He played it. Keys started sounding really good. She came in with her voice, dude, and I was like, oh my God. It didn't even matter if she couldn't play the keys because she sounded her voice did some stuff that I like was jealous of. Like I was like, wow, this girl can sing. Just her knowledge of where she can sing in that very simple type song. Obviously, like Beatles, those guys didn't write really super deep, complex songs. I mean, lyric wise for sure, but the song structure of itself is simple, and then the way she sang it over it, I was like, wow, she's working this song. She got juice out of it. It was nice. I was like, wow. I was blown away for an 11 or 12-year-old to improve on Imagine.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Just really cool.
That's
So.
crazy, dude.
That was one of the
I
big
wish I would have
standout
seen
moments
it.
for the first.
I wish I would have seen it. I wish I would have.
I wish I would have known it was coming. I could have recorded it, but it's hard to know.
That's a good point.
It's hard to know what's coming.
I was gonna say something. I don't remember what it was. Oh, do you remember who her instructor was? A lot of the instructors in the.
I remember what he looked like. I just can't.
I set it up
remember.
this way on purpose, but a lot of the instructors whose kids were in the first set, all of their kids were in the first set, so they didn't
Right.
have to stay for both.
Right.
We
Yeah.
kinda did
No.
that
The
on
place
purpose.
cleared out in between, and I understand.
Oh,
I mean,
I know what I was gonna say. Did she
2-hour
get?
break.
Did she get what you felt was like an adequately deserved like cheer?
yeah.
Everyone
Well,
else
I
was
made
like,
sure I
hell yeah,
led the
these guys
cheer.
are awesome.
I led the cheer.
Nice. I like when
made
people
sure.
do good and then get proper praise for it.
But yeah, there was. I mean, like luckily, there's all the instructors there. They know when a good performance is. So that it usually gets a good arousal of the crowd.
you
when,
hear-
when somebody's good?
One of my students, Webb, he's one of my
Yes.
favorite students. He loves Guns
Killed
N'
it.
Roses.
Killed it.
He's a like punk kid in a good way, not
like
a bad
him.
way. Like
I like him a lot.
he's like a hard rock dude, and I love him. And he was wanting to play Guns N' Roses, so we did Welcome to the Jungle.
Yep.
But when they announced his name, his family always brings like all their neighbors and all their extended
Right.
family. So when they normally announce a name, you'll hear the family cheer like, "Yeah, all right, clap, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
good job."
the whole
Dude, when they
place
announced
erupts.
Webb's, it was straight up like Slash had walked in the room, like
Right.
the place erupted.
Yeah.
I
It's
was-
awesome. He's got a
I
great
was,
following.
and so much so that George, who's the MC, was like, "All right, Webb's got some fans in the house." Like,
He said
I was
we should-
laughing. Me and Rassam were on
he
stage
even
with
made
him.
the
So
joke. He said we should take the group picture before
before all of Webb's
family
fans leaves,
That's good.
he's cool though. So
Yeah, very
this
cool.
just so
Great
happened to be
performance.
the gig night that all of my students were like, "We want to play
Guns.
Guns N' Roses songs." I was like, "What do you guys like? What do you listen to? What do you want to play?" I love Guns N' Roses. Everyone knows that, but I'm not
course.
pushing that on them. I
Of
just
course.
whatever they want to do, I'll do.
right.
But they all like 3 or 4 of them said Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses is back.
So I was like,
baby.
"We're gonna make that happen."
They're
Like,
back, baby.
I'm happy to make that happen.
I was happy to listen. It was fun.
So fun to play Welcome to the Jungle with Webb and Rasan.
Yeah, so you
so
did-
Rasan and I already play it all the time, so
Yeah.
we can just pull that
Sure,
out.
sure, sure.
Same
So
with
you
all
did-
3
you
of
did
those.
Welcome to the Jungle. You did Knockin' on Heaven's Door, and you did Sweet Child of Mine.
Yeah, all back to back.
Very
Yep.
cool. Very cool. That was a great
So
little set.
I played like a full set of like Guns N'
yeah,
Roses
you killed it
songs for a
too, man.
minute.
That was fun. It was fun
It was
watching
fun,
you rip
yeah.
those.
I'm not.
How did you like playing the Strat?
Yeah, not the biggest fan. So luckily I looked down because as I was in the middle of knocking on Evan's door, I was like, I got to hit the 22nd fret. And I looked down like, this better not be a 19 fret Strat, or we're going to be busting some strings.
20, I think they're 21 frets when they're Mexican.
21, that's what I meant. That's what I meant, not 19. 21. I was thinking in terms of dots.
No, yeah.
But yeah. So I looked down and it had the 22nd fret. I was like, okay, good.
It's an American or a Squire. I think
So
Squires have 22.
that's a Mexican thing that they don't have the 22nd.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Or is that just a certain style of Strat?
I don't know. I know the Made in Mexico ones have 21 frets. I'm not sure why, but the Made in American are 22. And I think that most Squire Strats that are Korean or whatever, Indonesian, whatever they're made of, are made from their 22 frets as well. So it's just for whatever reason, Mexican Strats are 21 frets.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I never knew. I knew some were 21, some were 22. I never knew which was which and why.
Yeah. And you could put an American Strat right on a Mexi body. So, because I put a custom neck on my American
So it's something
Strat.
with the neck.
It's
the
it's
difference
in the neck.
is in
the
the
length
neck,
is
right?
in the
not
neck.
affected in that.
Yeah, and I
cut
think
out of the body.
it does change the scale length, I believe. But or no, actually that 22nd fret hangs over. Isn't that how it goes?
Oh, okay.
Isn't it like there's a little bit more extended fretboard? That's how it goes.
So like it goes all the way up to the pickup.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But I did notice that because I was like, I'm playing a Strat,
Yeah, you
and
need
I
to
have
make
to hit the
sure.
22nd fret several times in these next two songs.
Yeah.
I don't hit it in Jungle, but
Yeah.
you do in the others. And
I
I was
always-
like, I need to make sure I can hit that. And I looked down, I was like, thank God.
Yeah, I always wonder about the 24 and 22 fret because I'm always switching back and forth from my Les Paul to my ESP. Or to
I used to
other
love
one.
24 fret guitars and would really look for them. Now I prefer not to have those extra 2 frets.
Why is
Oh.
that?
I just like 22. 24 feels like too much.
22. Lots of. I mean, the best guitar players in the whole world have gotten totally awesome sounds and
Yeah.
fucking writing awesome riffs and stuff like that with 22 frets. The 24
How
thing-
often are you
The
up there?
24
You know?
thing. The 24 thing to me, the coolest thing about it is that it's 2 full octaves. That to me like seems super symmetrical and like solid, like a
Sure.
full rounded. But
Definitely.
like you said, 22 gets it done. Like obviously, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But if you write a song that has the 24th fret in or 23rd fret in that last string,
Bend.
then you have to bend on that 22 fret, right?
Or
Totally.
slide. Use a slide.
A little, slide it
'Cause
past.
you can slide as far
Yeah.
up as you want.
Yep.
You slide all the way to your pick hand. That's
Yep.
really fun. That's how they do stuff in like
But you ain't shred sliding, not unless you're fucking really fucking good.
yeah, Derek Trucks or,
Yeah, right.
or there's some people that do it. I don't know
Yeah.
their names.
But yeah, that's a good point. Sliding until you can get down to that high note.
What are some songs that use that? What's the song?
22nd
It's a GNR song. Slash does it at some point. Oh, it's in Jungle. It's in Welcome to the
Where it
Jungle.
bends up from the 22nd fret.
No. It's right after the big solo where it goes to the actual jungle sounding part.
Yeah. Love that.
That's where Slash you hear him go.
Right. Okay.
He's
yeah,
sliding up by the
slides.
pick, like
Yeah,
with
yeah.
like sliding down. It's really cool. And
Yeah.
I've thought about doing that on the mic stand
Yeah.
at some gigs,
yeah.
just so like for a show thing. You
Yeah,
know?
that's a whole lot of love style.
It's kind of hard to make it work
Jimmy
though.
Page used to do that whole lot of
Yeah.
love.
It's kind of hard to make it work off the mic stand. It's
Yeah.
possible, but it usually you miss a little bit, and then
Yeah.
it just sounds like you just slammed your guitar into the mic stand on accident.
Yeah. It's something you got to practice too. So if you're gonna
Like,
do
that's
it,
not a
always
good look, you know?
practice. Yeah, always practice what you're gonna do on stage.
Yeah, that's a good point. Although I'm really bad about this, or good about this, however you want to look about it.
Kind of like
I
crazy
always
thing.
try new shit on
Yeah.
stage. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if it works out, it's great. But
40% of it works out,
Yeah.
but
if
60%
you
of
practice it, you definitely raise that number.
60% of it's like, yeah, oh, that didn't really work out.
Yeah. So
But sometimes I'll try something and then be like, that's cool, it didn't work, but I'll make it work next time. You know,
Sure,
that kind of
sure,
stuff,
sure.
you know?
But yeah, gig night
So-
went good. I'm glad we got it all done for all those kids, man. It's really awesome in the end, just seeing them all, happy with the getting on stage. And
Do you feel like, I mean, I know you're paid for your services, but do you feel like almost like a community service?
yeah,
doing that?
I'm totally happy to do it for like as a musician, spreading my knowledge onto younger fans
Yeah.
and also trying to keep them motivated and inspired.
Here's the best thing. There have been, to my knowledge, no complaints of sound
That's great.
since we took it over.
That's great.
Since we should get a name for like our crew of people.
Yeah, sound crew, man. We need a sound crew name.
There's like you, me, and Paige. Like
Totally. We'll come up with a name. The sound fucking I don't
sound
know.
fucks.
The sound fucks, dude. Me and Dan always
FUX.
talk about the weather fucks. Whenever the weather's not what they said it was gonna be, it's
Yeah.
like those weather fucks.
Yeah, Matt.
The sound fucks.
Matt called me my favorite thing I've ever been called. He called me a cisgendered fuck earlier.
That was such a joke.
I laughed.
I'd never use that, but I just think it's funny when people like use that against people that you're cisgendered.
I laughed so hard, dude. I was like, that is probably the funniest thing I've ever been called in my entire life.
Hold on to that one. It's a good one.
You said,
You can have that one.
What's funny is you didn't like. You just kind of said it like as you walked by.
You cisgendered fuck.
So Paige was making a joke like I'm a woman, and then Rasan was making a joke like I'm a black dude, like kind of like we're minorities.
Right.
And then I was like, well, I'm a straight white guy, like I don't know. And
I got
then
nothing.
Matt walked by and goes, "You cisgendered fuck." Like as it's just like in passing, like as we were packing
He's
up.
using that as an excuse now
That
because
is
he's just a
so
normal
funny,
guy.
dude.
You don't
So
get
funny.
to use that.
Oh, dude. So this is funny. My head and face hurt because I have laughed and smiled so much this weekend.
That's good, man.
And that's good, but like also it actually hurts.
You'll get to take a
It
break
really
tonight.
does.
After tonight, you'll feel better.
I'm gonna need to just hold a straight face and, like I said, just stare at a wall.
Yeah.
Hey, here's something I want to talk about.
I got a question real quick before you
Go
want
ahead.
to talk
Go ahead.
about.
Actually, no.
Are
No, I'm just
yawns
kidding.
contagious through the microphone? Like, will
know what? I think they
everybody
might be.
listening to a yawn, will they start yawning too?
I think they might be.
Yeah. Are you looking it up?
No, it's my thing, so
Let
don't
me look
forget.
that up real quick.
Because I want to talk about your thing and not forget mine.
Okay, don't forget your thing. Go ahead.
Well, now I'm not gonna forget it. Is that all you were asking?
That's all I was
Are
going
yawns
to say.
contagious?
That was it.
I think so, and I think
through the microphone.
the fact that you said yawn is straight up about to make me yawn, and I'm so close right now. So keep talking. Here it is. Oh God.
Oh, Rob. I could probably just yawn forever
I
if I wanted
allude to it occasionally on the podcast, but you guys don't know this because you don't see us. But for some reason, every time we hit record, I all of a sudden have to yawn.
Message us
30
to tell us if you
times.
have to yawn whenever you hear us yawn on the
Yeah.
podcast.
I don't. Do you know why that is, dude? It's like I don't have to yawn all day.
I think it's an in-person thing only.
But
Oh,
it's-
I don't know why it is when we sit down podcast.
we sit down a podcast. I have to yawn. You know it's true.
But I think when you're in the same room as people, yawns are literally contagious. But I don't think they are through the microphone.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're literally contagious, but there's definitely something there that
I think they're literally contagious.
Look,
I caught
literally
a yawn.
is the wrong word.
I
Spiritually
caught-
is the correct
I caught
word.
a yawn. Caught the yawns.
So the thing I wanted to talk about, Rasan and I were having a good conversation in the car about remembering people's names. And this is good. This is a business thing. This is a life thing. And it's
Mhm.
also a networking thing, which means it's also a music thing, which means it applies to you people listening.
Yeah.
You people.
You listeners.
guys listening. One thing I had heard someone say was, well, I have a friend, Matt Cullen. You know Matt.
Mhm.
Who is one of the best people I've ever met at remembering people's names. I'll tell you a quick story. I was playing a gig somewhere, and my family came out to see me, and Matt Cullen was there, and he wanted to meet my family. So they're all standing in like a semicircle. It was my mom, stepdad, sister, and her friend, and my brother and his girlfriend. So it was
Okay.
like 6 of them.
Right.
And they're all standing in a circle. You know how you stand in a circle and talk, like if
Yeah,
you're people.
sure. Like people
And,
do.
and Matt Cullen comes over and goes around the circle and introduces himself to all of them, gets all their names, and then we stand and we talk for 15 minutes. Dallas this is how I know him. It's good to meet his parents. Blah blah blah. Where are you guys from? Just talking.
right.
And 15 minutes go by. They're not talking each other's names.
Right.
And then Matt goes, "All right, good meeting you guys." And he literally goes around and says all their names back to them, like, "Hey, Erica, good to meet you, man."
Yeah, nice.
Not
Right.
Erica, man, but you know what I mean.
Made it personal. Right.
Got all their names right, and it was in a natural way. That wasn't like, oh, okay,
Some
he's
robotic.
doing
right,
some
right.
sort of
No, it's
like
good.
play,
So
like-
what's his trick?
Well, I don't know. I can tell you a little bit because I've talked to him about it. Because I was like, man, I've noticed you're so good at names. Tell me like what you're
It's
doing.
important. Yeah.
Because it's a really, really good networking hack, if you will. First of all, he's a salesman,
Yeah.
so he's
that's
good. He's
part of
really
it.
good
Right.
at the kind of networking, social, like engineering, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And using it in a positive way.
Yeah.
Which the first time you meet him, like, oh, this
Oh,
guy's. This guy's. Everyone that meets
charismatic.
Matt Cullen's like, I really like this guy.
charismatic.
I wanna
nice
be
guy.
around him,
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he makes me feel like I'm really the only person in the world. When
Yep.
like those people are great.
It's good,
When
yeah.
you're talking
Makes
to
you
them,
feel
it's like
good,
they look
right.
in the eye and they're really into
Absolutely.
what
It
you're
makes you
saying.
feel comfortable.
They listen.
Yep.
That's a huge thing. But he said, and I've heard other people say this too in books or blogs or whatever, that if you want to remember someone's name, the first thing you have to do is choose to remember it. Have you noticed that?
So you
I'll meet people
say,
sometimes,
I want to remember this.
And
guy.
as they're introducing themselves to me, I've already forgotten their name as it's like coming out of their mouth.
Okay.
Does that ever happen to you?
I think so.
It's especially it's
only
worse.
if I'm like if I'm bogged down and I'm like in the middle of something for sure. Like I'll feel like somebody will say something and I'll get it, I'll hear it, but I won't hear it. You know what I mean? Like
It's
that,
like
that's
exactly, yeah, and it's one of those things where like you will forget it almost instantly,
Yeah.
and it's worse for people with normal names.
right.
Your Matts,
Right.
your Steves is even worse. Kevin, those kind of things. It's kind of like I already forgot your name, dude. I'm
Right,
sorry. Like
right.
what was your name?
Dallas,
Steve. Like,
you're lucky. Dallas is a pretty
yeah,
memorable
Rasan's
name.
Rasan's lucky, but
Rasan's,
also people always get it wrong. So I'm perfect. I'm right in that middle range of
Everybody
like
knows how to say it.
it's
but
there's no worries about
it's
how to say
different
it,
enough.
but it's enough that they can remember it. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like the sweet spot. And
Yeah.
that's not bragging. I
That's
didn't
good.
choose my name. Like I'm named
No,
after my
we're
dad,
not
who's
accusing
named
you
after
of
his
bragging.
dad.
We're
so-
not accusing you of bragging about your cool
No.
name.
I'm bragging. Hold up.
Dallas. Dallas, stop bragging about how fucking cool your name
I
is.
actually am pretty happy with my name. Dallas DeWhite's
It's
a
worked
pretty
out for
pretty
you this so far,
Googleable
huh?
name. I went to drop my computer off to get it fixed one time, and the lady who was like checking me out, like ringing me up or
Yeah.
whatever, she was like, Dallas DeWhite, you should be an actor. That's an actor's name. That's a famous person's name. I was like, well,
Working on it.
it sure is.
Well, now you're just on a TV show, so
No, yeah, I'm not. But
no acting. No, that's a reality TV show.
um,
Anyways,
remembering names, I think it's super important. What tricks do you have, Matt? How do you remember someone's name? I have a few tricks I want to share, but I want to talk to you first.
it
Because I've been
is
working
like-
on it and getting better at it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
something I'm not the best at all. I'm
Yeah.
working on it. This is something I'm consciously
I've
trying to
always
get
been
better at.
somebody with better with faces. Like I definitely will see your face, and I will just like I'll remember everything about what we did, how I know you, but I might not remember your name. Like
Right.
names for me have been tough, but if it is like he said, if you have to choose to remember it, you have to literally make the effort and go, all right, I need to remember this person's
This
name.
person's name
And
is
it's hard to
important,
know,
and I'm
'cause
gonna
sometimes-
remember it.
Sometimes you'll meet somebody and you're like, I'll probably never see this person again. And then by chance, next week you'll be doing something with them. You'll work with them. Like sometimes weird stuff happens, and those are always the ones that get you. Like you're like, oh man, I really need to know this guy's name right now, but I didn't never think I'd see him again. Like or whatever it may be. But yeah, it's partially just about choosing. Maybe also opening a line of communication with somebody, putting their name in your phone.
And texting,
Well,
that's a good way.
That's a really
smart.
good way to.
That's
to
a good way that I
automatically
didn't-
have it in stone.
That's actually a good way. I've had several friends throughout my life not change their name, but change what they wanted to be called.
Right.
And the first way I did it is I changed their name in my phone,
In your
and
phone.
I immediately started calling them that all the time.
Yeah, I noticed that actually when I started, like there's some people I only really knew on Facebook back when Facebook was kind of just getting started, whatever, and I only knew them on Facebook or whatever, and then when I met them in real life, I found myself calling them by their first and last name, and I was like, why do I do that? How do I even know your last
That's
name?
funny, yeah.
But it's because I know you from Facebook, and that's why everybody's labeled on there as their first and last
Yeah.
name. So that's interesting.
One of
Like,
my tricks that I found worked that I learned from Matt is within the first couple minutes. So you meet someone, they say, "Hey, I'm
Mhm.
Matt,"
repeat
and you
it.
say, "All right, man, yeah." You repeat it back to him, but not immediately.
Right.
Let's talk for a minute,
Right.
and then as you're leaving, maybe, "All right, Matt, I'll talk to you later," and then
Yeah.
that helps your brain go, "That right there is Matt."
It's a communication
gonna
you had.
remember
Otherwise,
Matt.
if you never say their name, you know what I mean? And it's also
Yeah.
why people say, like when they say, hi, I'm Matt, or whatever, and you go, oh, nice to meet you, Matt. Like
Exactly.
immediately,
That's
that's, why
another
I do
thing.
it. But
Do that,
the not
yeah.
immediate thing I get too, because that lets it breathe a little bit more. and
Or
rest.
both. It depends. Just
Both. Why not? Yeah.
do whatever you want. But it's really good for your brain to help remember it. But also, it's really good for the other person to be like, "This guy said my name." Like
He's
the
planning
most,
on
the most-
remembering me.
Everyone's favorite word is their name. Like
That's a
the
good
word
point.
they're going to respond to
That's
the
a good
most is
point.
their name.
Yeah.
So when you say it to someone, you get their attention, and they realize like I'm important. Like he used
Or
my
that
name. He
he's
didn't
gonna
say
remember me.
dude.
He's
or,
trying to
like-
remember me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. Is
Now, here's
if
a
I
question.
If I forget,
I was just about to
somebody's
say,
name,
what do you do when you forget somebody's name and you should know it?
dude or bro.
That I've
Uh,
done that in the past, and that's a cop out.
It is.
And
It's
I
a cop
always
out,
felt
and
like
everybody
it's
knows
cop out.
that. Everybody
Here's
knows.
here's
It's
the best way
okay
to
then
handle that.
sometimes, though.
And I learned this from my dad, who's a really good networker as well.
Okay.
If you forget someone's name, walk right up to them and say, "I'm so sorry, I forgot your name. I'm Dallas.
Yeah, there's
What
nothing
was your
wrong.
name?"
Yeah,
Like,
there's nothing wrong with
if you
asking
attack
somebody.
it straight out, you win. You own it.
And don't do it like a like you're like super apologetic. You feel like a little apologetic, like hey, man, I deal with a lot of names. What's your name again?
Nah, I wouldn't give an excuse though.
No, not even that. I'm not saying that, but I mean, it's just
also, never
comes
say
off
you're
that
terrible
way.
with names. That's stupid.
Yeah, I don't say that.
Never
but,
say that.
If you forget somebody's name, just tell them you forgot their
You're
name.
terrible with names. Just be better with names. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like,
It's
just
just
be
it's
better.
like it's like Matt says, you got to want to remember their name. So it's
Hey, look
all
at you
that.
dropping names. Well, that's your name. You better remember it.
which I thought I was talking about myself. I'm just kidding.
But that's a good one.
that's a
Another
good
another
one.
really good thing is to walk up to someone, and if you can, it's usually good practice to do it anyway. But if you can tell they're kind of like
They can't remember your
they
name.
can't remember your name,
Yeah.
always say your name.
Yeah, just say,
Hey,
hey,
man,
man,
Matt.
it's Matt. Yeah,
Good to see you
it's
again.
me, Matt, or
You know?
whatever.
It's me, Matt. I see you forgot my name. No,
Right.
just be like, hey, man, Matt.
Yeah, you know it's really it really sucks when
It's
you
good to see you
remember
again,
somebody
you know?
else's name and then they forget your name, and then I always feel bad for them. I'm just like,
Right. So here's what you do: say your name right out of the gate, and then they feel comfortable. Because what if you forgot someone's
right.
name?
No,
What would
I
you want
try
them to do?
but sometimes you don't expect them to not remember your name. You're like, oh, they don't remember my name, but
Yeah.
you've already said, hey, what's your name?
Yeah,
You know,
so then
whoever it
if
may
you-
be.
the
then
best
they
thing to
feel
do
embarrassed.
is to take their embarrassment
Oh, yeah.
and put it on yourself and say,
Always.
Matt, solve their problem for them.
Always, dude. It's not my issue for sure. But
If you solve their
I've
problem,
landed
then they're
myself
going to be
in-
way more comfortable.
I've landed myself in little awkward scenarios where the
Yeah.
person can't remember your name, and you're just like, oh, this is awkward.
Yeah.
But I always make it easy as possible. I'm not like trying to degrade anybody. Obviously,
Sure.
I
No,
don't care.
of course not.
But my point being that it's a weird feeling.
But
When
if you
remember
forgot
somebody else's
if
name,
you forgot my name,
do you feel disrespected when they don't remember your name?
no, I don't.
Ever.
But it's always better if they do.
Okay, but what if you specifically made it a point to remember this person's name, right? Like you want to remember their name because like I'll probably see this
Yeah.
person again, and the next time you see them, they can't remember your name, and
I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to force my
No, but do you
expectations on someone else.
Yeah. But do you kind of feel like, oh, this person must not have wanted to remember me, or must not have?
I honestly don't ever think that. I don't give it any
Okay.
thought. If
I've
they
had
forget my
I've had that
name,
happen to me a couple times.
I'm just like, oh, I mean,
Where
I
just
don't
thought,
remember
oh,
everybody's
that
name either.
person-
Like, there's
yeah, but I
no
just
worries,
thought- I thought to myself before, like, oh, that person didn't want to make the effort. I made
would
the effort
depend.
to remember their name.
It would depend. If it was like someone you were like
Somebody you're working with,
trying to start a friendship or
working
something
with,
like
right,
that.
a
Yeah.
business or anything like that. Like you talk to somebody, you make a bunch of like plans, whatever, and the next week you see them. I don't know if you wouldn't make a bunch of plans, but you know what I mean.
It's
Like the next
interesting.
week
It's
you
kind of
see
a
'em.
weird area,
It
know.
is.
Like if you're
It's fringe.
worried about forgetting someone's name, you're probably in the beginning of the relationship.
Right.
you
It's
know?
fringe. It's a fringe little thing, but it's happened to me a couple times where it's like, okay, does this person not want to?
I've
Further
had
our
people not remember my name,
communications.
and I've never felt offended by it.
Okay.
Although to be honest, it does happen less to me because I have a name that most people. I'm the only Dallas in the room in most places I go,
I'm the only Dallas in the room.
Yeah. except my
Uh,
family reunions. Then there's 3 of us.
Right. I got 1% on my iPad left here, so
And we're wrapping up, but I wanted to say a couple more things about remembering
Okay.
names.
go for it.
I wanted to talk about what we were talking about a second ago a little bit. Like if you forgot my name, if I
Yeah.
walked up and said, "Hey man, Dallas,
Yeah.
good to see you again." Also, good to see you again, not good to meet you,
Right.
because you
That's
never
a-
know if
that's
you've met
another
him or
good
not.
point.
That's
another
a
good point.
politician move, which is a
Yep.
good. There's lots of good like hacks like that politicians use.
Actors do that.
Yeah. Good to see you again. Good to see you.
Yep.
I just solved your problem for you because you were panicking. Like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, dude, I've literally
they
worked with
immediately
that guy.
like
I've
you-
paid
you
that
like-
guy
they
money. I
like
can't
you
remember
more,
his
right.
name.
Like, oh, this
And,
guy's
and you're gonna
cool.
probably avoid me if you're most people.
Sure.
But if I walk up to you and say, "Hey man, Dallas, good to see you," and if I forgot your name, I say "man," or
Right.
hey man, Dallas, what was
Right.
your name again? I forgot.
Right. It's not a big deal.
I solved your problem and made you feel really good
Yeah.
because you can just say, "Oh, Dallas, got
Yeah.
it." Now I don't have to look like a douche.
Absolutely. That's the best way to do it. But
And these are not things I do as much as I should. These are things
no,
I'm
they're
working on.
definitely like good practices to have, and we're all trying to be better at it. It's hard to make yourself do it every time and be good at it.
And
but
I want to have.
gotta try.
I want to talk to Matt more about that.
me or
he's-
Matt Cullen.
Cullen, not
Yeah.
you. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
you gotta specify, man.
I'm lucky to have like a lot of mentors from different aspects of
Yeah,
life. People that I
absolutely.
consider
No,
mentors.
absolutely, yeah.
He's definitely one that I look up to, and
Yeah.
a lot of like personality and things like remembering names, like networking techniques. Like
No, he's a very good communicator.
he goes into any room,
Make
no
you
matter
feel
how many people he knows, and he'll walk out with like 4 friends, like 4 friends for life.
Totally,
Like that's just how he is, dude. Like
Totally.
people love him.
Yep.
He'll go to restaurants and like make best friends with a server. Like it's just like the
Yeah.
crazy stuff. And it's like it's him. It's the way he
course,
does
of
things.
course.
It's not some talent or gift. Like he's just practiced doing certain things,
Ab-
and he's good at knowing that kind of stuff.
exactly.
It might be worth having him on the podcast to talk about like
Absolutely.
networking or something. You know?
Absolutely, and he
That could
can
be
sing
fun.
too. Just
Yeah,
so
he's
it
the singer
happens-
for
yeah.
for Ashton's dad's band. He's a good singer.
So we can talk a little bit about all that. So
Yeah, and he loves music. He knows like just as much music as we
All right,
do,
let's-
like
let's
80
set it
stuff. Like
let's set it up, bro.
we should, especially while we're at Paul's because he's over here a lot. Man,
Oh, right.
All right, man.
Want to get to the poll? Of
What's
the
our
week?
poll this week? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Did we have a poll last time or no?
We didn't, I don't think. Unless if we did and I forgot it, let me know and I'll put it up there. I think we came up with an idea. Maybe I never posted it. I'm not sure. But
The last one I think we
maybe
had was
not. Maybe we
the,
didn't even do it. So
Was the what was it?
perfectionism is the last
That's
one
right.
I remember.
That's right.
Anyway, so this week we're gonna do. We had the idea of live album versus studio album.
Yeah. So do you prefer? And I'm asking you now.
Mhm.
Live albums in general, or studio albums?
Okay, this is in general. So this is the tough call.
Not is your favorite Kiss album a live album?
Right.
In general, are you more stoked to sit down and listen to a live album or a studio album, or do you find yourself preferring some of your favorite bands' live albums over their studio albums? That kind of stuff. You can kind of spin it any way you want.
Man, it's
but-
crazy because all right, here's what I'll say. I love the idea of a live album, but only after the studio album's out. Like, all right, so the stuff on Lies, on GNR Lies, there's
Like,
stuff on there
Reckless
that's only live.
Yeah, Reckless
Like,
Life.
yeah, Reckless
But you know they
Life and
faked all
Mama
that,
Kin.
right? That's not all live. That's not
It's
live.
faked?
Yeah.
Okay.
They talk about that in their book.
I wasn't sure if it was or not, but either way.
Well, the joke is like
idea
they were
being that
they
you
were
can't
playing like
get-
small clubs at the time.
Yeah.
And the crowd on there is clearly like
way
80,000
bigger.
people.
Right. So it's like, wait a minute, how's that happen? Right. So, but my thing
they
is,
did it
is
as
that
a joke, but people thought it was live.
right. Well, it sounds live. It sounds live in the fact that there's noise in the background is what I mean. Like, so
Yeah.
the fact that there's noise in the background, you can't get Reckless Life or Mama Kin without cheering in the background. Also, like Get in the Ring. Get in the Ring does has cheering in the background.
That's
I don't know
a
if it was
weird
live
one.
or not.
Because that one's not live. That's a studio song.
That's a studio song, and they just
and
did
I
it.
wish they wouldn't have put it on there because I really want to hear the studio, which there you go. Answers the question for me.
So my point being that is I like the option of having a live song after a studio album has come out or whatever, and then like they put out a live album like Winery Dogs did. Like they have their album and then they come out with a live in Japan album.
And you can
Also,
only
like,
hear
GNR did their whole live
live era.
live era.
But
which
you can
was
only
awesome.
hear some songs live, like the "Fooled Around and Fell in Love" by the
Right.
Winery Dogs, which is one of the best versions of that
They
song.
have a full live one now though.
Yeah, it's the
Like a
live
whole
song. Though, But they
live-
don't have like a studio version of that song, which I would love to hear.
Oh, right. I hear what you're saying. Right.
So
the cover
my
songs, they
answer
do
is
not
I
have
prefer studio, but I do love a lot of live stuff.
But there's a little more that goes into publishing a cover song
Yeah,
in the studio,
but
rather than just the live version.
but
of it.
if you record yourself,
version.
like you're putting it out the same way you're going
yeah,
through
never
the same
mind. You're
steps,
right. It's
yeah.
the same channel.
If you were just playing it live and
right,
not recording
then
it,
there would be no
sure.
problem, right? But
But if you're putting it
releasing
out on a CD, you've
Yeah.
done the same thing.
Yeah. So, all right. So, my point being, though, that I love the idea of hearing a band be able to perform it. So, you hear it without all the studio magic and frills. This is them playing it. You know what I mean? And this is what it sounds like. You know what I mean? Like as a band playing it. You know what I mean? And then you get to hear both.
Yeah.
I like hearing both.
Now here's something
and like
to
I was
think
saying,
about,
I was telling you earlier that Kiss, like all their best
Yeah.
albums were the live albums. None of them were the
or like
studio albums. Nobody cares about really.
what's that song we did at Evening with the Stars by Cheap Trick? Their famous one. I Want You to Want Me.
Yeah, I want you to
The
want me.
only famous version of that song
It's
is the live one.
Yeah,
Apparently
well, he
nobody
says it
even
in the very
listens to
beginning
it.
for some reason.
I
it's so-
want you
to
to
want
want
me.
me.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, exactly. That was a famous like.
But they have so much
Japanese
more
one or
character.
something.
I think like live stuff have like they always have the talking in it. Like
So
or
you
whatever.
like live better?
I do. I guess I do. I guess I'm
Okay,
gonna say
cool.
live.
All right.
You
And
gonna
see, I
go
love both.
studio or you
but
gonna
I'm-
go live?
I'm gonna have to go studio. yeah.
All right. Well, that makes sense though.
I was gonna say something
Producer's
about
mind and engineering mind. You know.
What about the fact that most live albums you hear are basically completely redone in the studio?
That's a good point too. They're like worked and touched up in the studio.
Like a lot of times, completely re-recorded.
Right.
Not all the time, but a lot of times.
Yeah.
Definitely touched up.
Yeah. I guess I don't know, man. I don't know because that makes that makes a hell of an argument for the studio side, doesn't it?
It's interesting because it gets into a gray area.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say live just because I like the feel of it, and I'd like to say that most of those even if the crowds were added in afterwards, hopefully they're at least crowd reactions that they actually got. And
With
they're
the
not
live
just
stuff,
samples.
it's not. The live stuff, it's not. So what happened is,
It's not stuff that they captured from
Either-
an actual show.
no, dude,
How
they
can
were
you
not that
guarantee?
big at the time.
No. The Guns N' Roses one specifically, but you can't guarantee for every band.
No,
Like,
not at all.
Right,
I only know what I'm talking about for the Guns N' Roses
Right,
one
right.
because it was either in Duff's or Slash book. I
Right.
don't remember which one. One of their books, they talked about having this funny joke, like, "Hey, we recorded this song. Like, it'd be hilarious if we put a crowd, like the biggest crowd we could find
Right,
on
right.
it, like 80,000, 100,000
right.
people screaming,
Sure.
like, let's put it on there." And they put it as a joke, but it didn't work.
Everybody
Like,
just
everybody thought it was like, "Oh, it's live."
Yeah,
Like,
right. Well, who knows? Maybe like the timing. I wasn't live during the timing, or I wasn't aware at least. And who knows? Like,
but looking back
people
on it
just-
now, we know they're one of the biggest bands in the world, so we're like, okay, sure, makes sense.
right.
But at the time, it was like they weren't
yeah.
that big.
But
And
the Kiss, so the Kiss ones are interesting because they came out later. Like they faked it basically. Everybody thought it was live. Like that's what like these were actual live recordings, and they came out later and said, nah, we you can't play the songs that good live. Like nobody would ever hit all the notes live or whatever is what Gene Simmons or something said like that. And then they said they dubbed those crowd noises in. But my thought was, okay, but where do those crowd noises come from? Don't tell me they better not come from like some U2 concert that you recorded and took their live crowd
Yeah,
noise.
yeah.
Like it better have been at least from your band's live show that they were cheering
Yeah.
for. Like that would have been interesting to
that
find
is
out.
probably true because most bands,
Yeah.
and I don't know if this was true in the 70s with Kiss,
I don't
but
either.
nowadays, if you're a major label touring act, You are multi-track recording every single show.
Yeah.
Can you
Why
believe
not?
that?
Why not though? Because the technology's there.
Because you're gonna have a front of house guy
Yeah.
who does your mixing. You're gonna have a monitors guy who does your monitors,
Yep.
and you're gonna have like a Pro Tools guy
Who's
who
recording? the whole
literally
time.
records every mic on the stage.
So worth it to do though. I mean, it's an extra person, obviously.
Could you imagine what some of those concerts are worth though? Just to get like a rough mix of like Not in This Lifetime tour, like any one of those.
I know
shows?
Metallica records every one of their shows.
What do they do with those?
That you can get them. You can actually download them if you're a member of the fan club. Which
That
is really cool because
genius.
I love it, dude. Because I love listening back and remembering the banter in between and all the little things. You can listen to it all, and it sounds great. It takes like a week for them to get it out. So I'm assuming that's just editing or whatever.
That is one of the smartest marketing tactics I've ever heard.
It's great, dude. It's great, and and
that's
think
one thing I
have,
love about Metallica, and I love about their. I can't say it's their ideas because I don't know and I doubt it.
Sure,
But whoever they hired to
pioneers.
do their marketing and stuff is one of the best in the business.
Definitely, and they are just they've been doing it for so long, dude. Think about it. You know what I mean? Like since 80, was it 82,
It was early '80s.
82?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. My iPad just died. But yeah, they just doing this touring thing and doing this shows, playing shows everywhere since that long ago. Like that, they just learned so much.
I love that multi-track idea so much.
Yeah.
That is
Hopefully, we get
pure
to the point
genius.
where we're doing that to all our shows.
Yeah, we need to start doing that. But the problem is setting up a full live Pro Tools rig and then
Totally another setup.
also having it like go front of house. Like those same mics
Yeah.
have to go to two places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I guess you would just go out of the board into Pro Tools. But anyway,
Yeah,
we're wrapping up here.
Yeah, let's get. Speaking of the shows, we got some shows coming up
we
for
got
the LA
some shows
Maybe.
coming up. The LA Maybe is going to be at Wild Wings in Airsley, Charlotte. We're going to be there Friday the 15th. If you want to come out.
Nice.
And then we're going to be at Tin Roof Sunday, St. Patty's Day,
On
March
St.
17th.
Patrick's Day,
and
dude.
that's kind of a weird set time. We're going to be there from 6 to 9.
It doesn't matter to St. Patrick's Day, dude. Charlotte. I don't know if you've been around Charlotte.
I've always done Columbia.
Holy cow, dude! Charlotte is swamped with people on the streets
Oh,
all
that's
over the
That's
place.
going to suck because we have to load in.
Well, it's gonna be really good for your.
Oh, it's going to be awesome
set.
for that. But
People are
I'm
gonna
talking about
show
like
up
driving
and
and like
be at
loading
your
into
set,
the
dude. The place will be
epicenter.
packed.
Like,
The place will be packed from noon on,
Really?
like everywhere, every square block will be packed.
I never understood St. Pat's. I just don't give two
If you
shits
need
about
to
it,
park,
dude.
I don't even know where you're gonna park. You're gonna have to find somewhere to park. I don't know what the deal is over there by Epicenter.
And they said Tin Roof, literally the guy that books it told us that loading in is difficult.
oh man, you guys gonna have a rough time loading in, but once you get there, it'll be good.
You want to come
though.
help? You're welcome.
I'll be there to help. I'll be out. I'll be out and about. I'll make it to your show.
Wild
for
Wings is
sure.
going to be nice and easy.
Yeah,
We load in right to the door. There's a stage.
Yeah, I won't make it to that. I'll just wait
And that
till
one's
St.
10
Patrick's
p.m.
Day.
to
You guys
1
are coming
a.m.
right
So
down
that's a
my-
normal.
You guys will be right in my backyard, St.
Yeah,
Patrick's Day.
yeah,
That'd be
you will.
cool.
Yeah, you're right. Cool, man. All right, anything to add?
No, let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
I'm tired.
All right, man. Episode 55.
I got my
Dallas to
socks
White.
and my shoes off now.
You do. Yeah, gross.
All right, you guys.
Mine are off too.
See ya.
We'll see you next time. Peace.